Good morning. What is good, everybody? Welcome into Breaking Bet here. Little bit early start time on this Sunday, November 16th. My guy, Brad Thomas, is back in the fold here after a little bye week in Tampa to a very, very good game. But we're back here this morning. What's going on, Bradford?
Man, I'm chilling, dog. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was got a little bit of everything. The elements were there. It was raining at the Bucks game, but at the end of the day, it was weird. I didn't feel too upset about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing, just because of the fact that it felt everyone else in the division sucked. Right at this point, the Buccaneers just want to win their division and get healthy. Two things that are the most important.
Yeah, I mean, I was upset because I got that Baker Mayfield MVP ticket. He's drifted a bit. I don't think it's detrimental. I think especially newer bettors in terms of like market evaluation for futures, like it's that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And in a particular case like that, for somebody like Baker, who's got really good stats, he cooled off against the Lions and against New Orleans, statistically speaking. He had a good game against New England last week, even though they lost. But, I mean, you got two big games that are huge, not only on the schedule card, but litmus test-wise. You have Buffalo this week, and you're at the Rams next week. But then after that, Brad, as you know, the Tampa schedule sets up very nicely for potential to run the table. For somebody like me who took Baker Mayfield a couple weeks ago at 22-1, very much still in the mix here. Definitely still live for 4,500 plus pass yards, 35 to 40 touchdowns. So, I wouldn't be ripping up those tickets. But obviously, as you know, team success plays a part. And in the NFC, Tampa's probably got to be a 1 or 2 seed, because right now the NFC, in terms of MVP candidates, is probably, in all reality, just Matthew Stafford. Darnold's got a case as well, but one of them's going to be knocked out because whoever loses the division is not going to get it. But really, Baker, I still think, is a solid play there if you're looking for a little longer shot on a future MVP.
Yeah. Man, the MVP race still feels wide open, doesn't it? Like, it feels like anybody could still win, which is kind of a weird thing to say, because I think this point last year was basically a 1 or 2 man race. So
yeah. So I mean, that also creates some conflict. You got May and Stafford as the top. You got Jonathan Taylor 650. We could talk about that a little bit later. Colts are on a bye this week. Then you got Mahomes 650, Allen 750. Huge tumble after last week's debacle in Miami. Darnold 11-1, Herbert 22-1, Goff 25, Hurts 25, Lamar 30, Baker 30, Love 50. And then Daniel Jones 60, and then everybody else is 100-1. And again, everything right now is only on FanDuel, just for simplicity purposes. Got a little early mornings. What's up, guys? How we doing? Welcome in. We know this show is a couple hours early, just some scheduling conflicts these last couple weeks. So we're trying to get the show in since we were not able to do one in the middle of the week. But Brad, because we were unable to have our usual midweek show and kind of give our preliminary thoughts a few days in advance, we're kind of having to do all this in one day. But what's the week 11 vibes for you? We had New England cover the 13 at home on Thursday against the Jets, and now we got pretty much the whole slate wide open with a Madrid game between Washington and Miami. I actually have a friend that's at that game, but
that's crazy.
Whole slate's in play here, pretty much.
Man, this is a good week because there's a lot of divisional foes going against each other, so some separation can happen. But also, like, some teams could really cement themselves into like a 1 or 2 division race, which 1 or 2 team division race, which helps a lot. Especially, like, imagine like you're in your division, you're playing division foe, you beat them, and then someone out of division loses a game, and you're like licking your chops, right? So,
yeah. All right, let's get started here with this Washington Commander Miami game. I mean, look, I hate betting international games, especially against bad teams. Miami, it was such a huge win for them. Like, that's a game they got up for. Just continues to be like one of the more odd teams that come out flat one week and then they beat Buffalo as 10-point home dogs. It's just this is the microcosm of the Miami Dolphins this year. But typically you see these dogs that are covering and winning a lot of these international games. Is that the case for this morning?
Yeah, man, this is a weird game too. Like it's like Miami's starting to get a little bit more impressive, but coming off a major letdown spot, and then the Commanders, they're kind of grasping for success. I don't know if I'm all the way there putting Miami as a favorite, but the Commanders need something. Dan Quinn already said, "Hey, I'm going to take over play calling." Like this might be the game where we see some not Dan Quinn, yeah, where we see some defensive excellence, but a lot of question marks around this game. And frankly, I'm not really sure I want to be too involved in this game.
I mean, look, anything I talk about here, I'm not taking it to the bank. I don't like either of these teams. This is not a game I'm willing to die on, especially in Madrid. This is. I mean, this is what it is. The NFL sends two bad teams out overseas just to get them out there for some international exposure. I mean, if I'm going based on what I usually do, it's taking the dog in this spot because the underdogs, like I said, have been really killing it in overseas games this year. 2.5. I mean, maybe we see 3 in the next hour and change here. But Washington, defensively, if Dan Quinn's going to start taking over a little bit more of responsibility, maybe we see something special. I mean, I'd slightly lean the Commanders, but again, this is not something that I'm really in love with. Maybe some props. Devon Achan's just been awesome, honestly. Maybe he gets back into the end zone. He's a healthy -170. You got him an 81.5 rush prop total. I mean, all this is all well and good, but I don't think there's enough here for me to want to get involved in this game.
Yeah, like what's funny is like I was like maybe I'd be interested in some Chris Rodriguez props. The line is high. Maybe you take old Bill's rush under, but then it's set like lower than his normal. There's no like real
old Bill.
There's no real number that like stands out on the player prop market, and then 2.5 just feels icky, I guess.
Yeah, no full 3 here.
Yeah.
Let's move to a game that's got a little bit more significance. NFC North, Bears, Vikings. Vikings home inside the 3. Looks like we could get a 3 here in the next 4 to 5 hours. It's -118 on FanDuel with the Vikings at -2.5. Brad, I'll be honest. Both of these teams they're very Jekyll and Hyde. Honestly, the whole NFC North is, with pretty much the exception of the Lions. One week you show up, the next week you don't show up, and that's kind of a revolving door. We saw Chicago steal a win against the Giants, a game that they probably shouldn't have won. Dart left with a concussion, so that vaulted a comeback there. But typically I like to think divisional opponents of like similar caliber usually split, which could be the case. Vikings took one early with a ferocious fourth quarter early in the season. But I think I like the Vikings here. I just think X's and O's wise, it makes a little bit more sense. You're getting inside the number of 3. McCarthy, I mean, he didn't play great last week against the Ravens. We're on the Ravens. Jettas you got here. You should be able to do some things against the Chicago defense. Addison, Hawkinson, you got the running game. And look, the Vikings defense looks like it's playing a lot better. It's hard to imagine, but the Ravens offense didn't look great last week, and they still scored 27 points. I mean, a lot of it was the turnovers from McCarthy. There was disconnects between him and Jettas, a couple short fields. But honestly, 27 points is weird to think about because in some regards, like, hey, the Ravens scored 27 points on this defense, but the Vikings defense actually played overall solid if you watch the game, because this easily could have been Ravens scoring 40 points. The Ravens got held to field goals instead of touchdowns on some short fields. So I think, all things being equal with somebody like Caleb Williams, who is capable of turning the ball over here, I think I lean Minnesota inside the 3.
Yeah, slightly lean Minnesota in this one. But for me, I'm still having a tough time really trusting JJ McCarthy to get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
It'd also be interesting to see what Ben Johnson does, because to beat this Vikings team, you have to neutralize the pass rush and run the ball effectively. They've done a good job of that. But my question is, how do you make it easy for Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams isn't always great when pressure is in his face, kind of sometimes tries to rely on the heroics, and that
Yeah.
gets you in trouble. I lean Vikings here, but honestly, I think this is another game where I'm okay with passing.
Are we due for a little Jetta's breakout game? The
I think we
Bears,
might have to be, dude,
yeah, the
because
Bears secondary's been shaky against the wideouts this year, brother.
it's been very shaky. And then he's also like clearly frustrated. His numbers in the 70s. It feels like it's coming.
Like Jetta's for reference. Oops, I'm looking at his numbers right now. He hasn't had a Hundy piece since October 5th against Cleveland in the Dublin game or London game, whichever one. They're played overseas.
Yeah.
Regardless, he hasn't had a Hundy piece in a while. He hasn't had more than 7 catches since week 4. He's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. Like it's Jefferson. It's kind of thought this could potentially happen because even he came out and said, "Look, I think McCarthy's talented, but he's got a ways to go," and that was before the season. And it's like if you're superstar wide receiver saying that about your first year starting quarterback, you could think that there might be growing pains and some disconnect going on there between the two, and honestly has been. And obviously, some of this Jefferson, these lines are a little skewed because Carson Wentz was starting many of these games.
Yep.
But I don't know, man. I think the Jetta's rebounds kind of do. He had a bad week last week, 4 for 37 on 12 targets against the Ravens. A lot of just miscommunication. And I think this is the week Jefferson gets right. Has one of those like 8 catch, $130 tutty or 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be surprised. Like he actually handled the media pretty well. So
His line set at 73.5. So wouldn't be surprised if he has a big one here. The guy who's been pretty sneaky though is Jalen Naylor. I mean, his number's 22.5. I think that's a bet, dude. Jalen Naylor's. I think he had over 100 last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he had like an 80-yarder or something pretty big like that. But Jalen Naylor is like the sneak play of this Minnesota pass game. He had 124 last week. He had 16 the week before. He had 0 the week before that. Oh my God! All right, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. But I don't know. Naylor could be a sneak play here, 22.5. Could end up actually seeing a little bit higher scoring in this one, set at 47.5. Slightly lean Minnesota, but I do like Jefferson here in this one. I think he gets right. I think this is definitely a game where he can score. He is plus 110. Nobody currently in the minus on FanDuel for a score here. Let's have Jettas get a big one in this contest. All right, Green Bay at the Giants. It's 7.5. Jackson Dart is out with a concussion. It's going to be Jameis Winston, and this could be exciting. We know from the 2019 Tampa that Jameis Winston experience was something else. Brad, are you more in line laying it with the Packers off a weird Monday night loss? Still a short week.
Yeah, I'm more in line with laying with the Packers for a couple of reasons here. This is one of the weather games where weathers are tipping close to that 15 mile per hour range. Right now, they're slated to be 18 miles per hour. Weather in the 50s as well, dew point down to the 26s. You have a team that hasn't really been able to run the ball. And I don't think that they're really going to get the new coach bounce. I think typically when you see teams get a new coach bounce, it's because the players hate their freaking coach, right? They hate their coach. It's gone. But I don't think they really hated Dabble that much. I think the fan base just didn't think he performed, and they blew so many leads. This could be like one of those situations where the Packers just smother them, cause a couple turnovers. Like Jameis Winston with Micah Parsons in his face doesn't feel that poised, right? And he doesn't have the running chops like Jackson Dart does to evade the pressure. So I like the 7, but this Packers team has become really, really hard to want to back because it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Since early in the season, they've been putting up lackluster performances, and it's starting to question, even in their wins, like, is this their identity? Are they a team that just does the bare minimum to get by?
We're seeing some 7.5 120s on the Giants, which typically means could be some action coming in here on the Giants at a 7 and a hook at home, and could eventually see a 7 here before kickoff. But yeah, man, look, Green Bay is a team that I don't know about. I liked what they had coming into the year, but then I highlighted their schedule was going to be challenging for them. And it's just, then you throw in the wrench of losing Tucker Kraft, which we talked about. I talked about with my guy Ben last week. That's a tough one to rebound from because Green Bay did nothing at the deadline. Like, you so needed a true wide receiver 1. Jaden Reed's been out the whole year. Christian Watson's never truly been a wide receiver 1. Romeo Doubs isn't a wide receiver 1. Matthew Golden is a one-trick pony who really hasn't even done that trick well this year. It's been a mess. And Jordan Love, I like Jordan Love. And, look, man, I think some of the performances, he's getting the short end of the stick because now he's just got nobody to throw to. Tucker Kraft was not only your starting tight end, who's been performing as a top 3 tight end this year, but he was your number 1 pass catcher. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to throw to. And Jacobs, look, man, I love Josh Jacobs. I have him in a couple fantasy leagues here this year, but look, Jacobs hasn't been that great either in terms of efficiency. He's getting a lot of volume, 3.8 yards per carry. I'll tell you what he has been doing. This kid's been scoring tutties like crazy. He's got a touchdown in every game this year except for that week 3 game against Cleveland. Look, I'm not betting this game because I can't justify laying this number with the Packers the way they've been playing. And it's not even the Giants get up or don't get up for the new coach. The Giants have a pass rush. The Giants' strength of this defense is in the front. I mean, they got guys that get after the passer. I don't know if I trust either one. I mean, maybe this is an under, wind swirling around, could go a little bit geared towards heavy on the ground game. I think the under could be in play here at 42.5. But real quick, are you feeling anything in terms of Josh Jacobs touchdowns? I mean, it's almost automatic every week.
I'm going to be on Josh Jacobs this week. I'm going to probably play him straight up and then play him with a touchdown in 100 just because the Giants run D is just so porous. Like, you can get Josh Jacobs for 80.5. He's going to get the 20 carries that he wants unless this game goes sideways early. And anytime teams are in the wind, I think they're more in the elements. They're more amped to run the ball. And that just gives more opportunities. That's one thing that they've done consistently is whether Josh Jacobs has whether Josh Jacobs has been getting the push that they want, the burst that they want, they're still consistently giving the ball because they know what he can do. Giants run D is one of the worst in the NFL. Touchdown price is pretty tough, minus 200. So I feel like you'd have to parlay those two together if you wanted any kind of action on that.
Yeah, I mean, also it's like if you're looking at a touchdown parlay, saying you're like, oh, Jacobs, it's fine. It's tough though because the minus 220 doesn't really add much to it. I mean, Jacobs is a very good bet to score every week, obviously, but then you start figuring in is it worth it? Is the number make it viable to throw him in a tutty parlay? I mean, I don't know at that point. And it's like, I'm not laying 220 with Jacobs to score. So, maybe something interesting, like a first touchdown, but even that, all these tutty prices are just steamed out. So it doesn't make me want to play anything in particular in this one. This is a near stay away. Yeah, we could get Jacobs over on the yards for sure. 84.5. Fine. That's still a lot at his current clip. He's still probably going to have to get close to 17 to 18 carries, in my opinion, to be getting there.
Yeah.
He's not been efficient this year. All right, maybe something a little bit more in terms of a bounce back for our guy Bijan Robinson, who's been getting cucked these last few weeks by Tyler Algier. Atlanta 3.5 home favorite, divisional matchup against Carolina Panthers. Brad, we were all over the Saints last week. Why? Because it was a royal mint spot. New Orleans not only covers the 5.5, but they won outright. Carolina proves that they are still capable of disappearing, as they've done several times this year. Does Atlanta get revenge after getting bombed by 30 in a shutout earlier this year?
Listen, Atlanta's a team that, yes, they probably should, and they probably should be able to get to the quarterback, but Atlanta has been really poor in their run defense. It's been like a glaring weakness for someone whose pass defense is so good. Their run defense has been so bad. But this is also another game where I expect Bijan Robinson to do well. So now what levels out is the pass game. Like who can get going in the pass game? Like who's more likely? And I think that's going to be Atlanta, because I think the threat is more real from not just Bijan running the ball, but Bijan as a pass catcher, which becomes another option that the Panthers have to defend. But this is coaching malpractice game week in and week out for the Atlanta Falcons, where Raheem Morris just makes some of the worst coaching decisions that you could ever see. I lean the Falcons here. I think they get their get back at home on their turf. I like Bijan to have a big game, but like we're asking Bijan to have a big game, something that he hasn't done in 4 weeks. So, I don't know, man.
So interesting note. One of not only the best running backs in the NFL, but one of the best players. He hasn't scored in 3 weeks. And like, listen, even top backs will go through this scoring drought, but the usage and the timing of Atlanta's substitutes have gotten a little questionable. And listen, man, I have nothing against Tyler Algier. I think Algier is one of the best backup RBs in the NFL. And it's almost not even like he's a backup. The only reason he's a backup is because he's got Bijan Robinson. I mean, Tyler Algier was a 1,000-yard back on his own. So it's not like he's a scrub. But at the same time, it's like you have Bijan Robinson. And in the fourth quarter against that Colts game, it was Algier in the red zone, not Bijan. And like, look, man, I like Algier, but he's not Bijan Robinson. So that is even more concerning, that Bijan Robinson's not getting the amount of volume. And like last week, he was good against the Colts, 17 for 84. I mean, that's almost 5 yards carry. Only 2 targets. The week before, he got almost 100 total yards, but New England did a pretty good job on the ground against him. But only 12 carries for your star back. The week before at Miami, or against Miami when they got smoked, he only had 9 carries. And we could say, well, yeah, it was a game script sideways. Kirk Cousins was starting, no Drake London, but he only got 3 targets in the pass game. So it's like they're not getting their star running back the ball. Really, since that, I saw somebody point this out, since that 81-yard touchdown run against Buffalo, Bijan Robinson on the ground has not done pretty much anything. It's very bizarre. I think this is the game, though.
Yeah.
I think this is the game for Bijan. I think he's going to have a big day on the ground. I think he's going to get back in the end zone. He is only minus 135 to score. I like that. I like Rico Dowdle to get in. I mean, the Rico Dowdle story is honestly so bizarre. I drafted Hubbard in fantasy because I'm like, Rico Dowdle's never done anything. Hubbard's coming off 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Dude. And then it's like Rico Dowdle's.
It was such a waste of a pick. Holy crap.
Tell me about it. I'm like, but who would ever think that? And it's like, Carolina, really? Were they going to be that good? And, but I think Bijan Dowdle in this game, parlay touchdown, 247 is solid. I think both of them could be in line for Hundy pieces as well. Drake London's been a madman. This dude's got back-to-back Hundy pieces, tutties. He was sick this week, said he's planning on playing. I think he's fair to get in at plus 115, although I probably think he's going to be seeing a lot of JC Horn. But look, man, I think against my better judgment, I'd probably lean with Atlanta to win here. I don't know if I'd love taking them on the spread, but I think Atlanta pulls this one out. I think Bijan Dowdle both score. I think they're both Good bets to go over their rushing yards as well. Might throw that on a slip this morning. Chargers traveling east to Jacksonville. Long trip. LA to Jacksonville, Florida. 3 points for the Bolts. I mean, that's the only concern, I guess, for the Chargers here is that that's a long flight. But look, man, Jim Harbaugh, he's a guy he's been in the NFL for a while before he left for Michigan. He was the coach of the 49ers. They went to 3 straight NFC championship games. This is the kind of guy that knows how to handle these travel spots. Your body clock's all off. It's a long flight. You got to reacclimate. But I still think they're going to find a way to get that done. I mean, matchup-wise, I think this is a great matchup for them. I don't know if Brian Thomas is playing this week or not. I don't know. I haven't seen.
He's trending towards not playing.
He's trending towards not playing. Travis Hunter's obviously out. They trade for Jacoby Myers, which is pretty solid. But Jacksonville, man, I just don't know. Do you get up after what they did last week? Like, they imploded against the Texans. It was disgusting. Yeah. They gave up 26 fourth-quarter points to Houston, a Davis Mills-led Houston team.
Might be the worst coaching performance we have ever seen. 26 fourth-quarter points to Davis Mills is insane.
Including like a 17-yard rushing touchdown to Davis Mills. Looking like Paul Crew, Adam Sandler in the longest yard, rushing for that touchdown. Like, what is going on here? But look, man, I think the Bolts get this one done. They have a lot of options. They don't have a ton of guys that are going to be able to cover this in the secondary. Ladd McConkey has been on a heater these last 4 weeks. I think that continues. I like the Bolts here laying 3. I think Jacksonville fooled some people early. I know we weren't really buying it despite some wins, like, for instance, Kansas City, Monday night win at home. They had a couple of these wins where it's like, hey, yeah, good job. But then for several weeks, they were barely squeaking by Houston in week 2. It's like, I don't know, do we really buy this Jags team? Like, Trevor Lawrence has not shown us that he's a worthy top 5 paid QB in the NFL. Travis Etienne's had a solid bounce back here. But the pass catchers now, even outside of Jacoby Myers, it's not been there consistently all year. I think we saw the Chargers play a little slow at Tennessee a couple weeks ago. Sleptwalked, gave up a pick 6, gave up a punt return touchdown. I think that's the only way the Jags stay in this one. You got Parker Washington, who's, he's a dynamic player. Of course, we were too early on him in like week 3 to score a touchdown, and then he's basically gone on a tutty heater. But other than that, I think this is a Chargers all the way spot, man. I think McConkey 61.5 is an over. I think McConkey to get in the end zone at plus 175 is juicy. That's too big. So I'm on the Chargers here laying a 3 with a McConkey heater continuing.
I like that. I'm going to be on Keenan Allen over 35.5 receiving yards. Keenan Allen's kind of in that situation where he just hasn't been getting the targets that he the volume that he wants, but he's still in the last 3 weeks, has still gotten 5 targets. It's the 35 numbers is really low for a guy who's going to see 5 targets, right? Especially if we can get one of them being 11 yards. And I also think, like, when you have a guy like Keenan Allen who goes in the news, who even though he did take a little bit of leave of absence from the Chargers, right? When he's in the news for not getting the volume that he wants and doesn't say anything about it, he's just the pro's pro. You go and make a concerted effort to scheme him open a few times to do some extra stuff for him. So it's a pretty good price on Keenan Allen. Like, the number, this is like a good buy low spot, as people like to say. It's not like he's not playing the snaps, and it's not like he's getting the target volume.
It's up to 37.5, by the way, right now.
37.5 still fine. So the number opened higher. It opened at, what did it open at? No, it opened at 37. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It opened at 37, and then it got bet down on some places and bet up on others.
It's bizarre, though, because touchdown scoring wise, ETN's the favorite, even money in this one. And you got Kamani Vidal, you got McConkey, Gadsden, Q, Keenan. But then it's the Jags after. Jacoby Myers 230, Washington 240. I feel like one of them probably gets in, no?
Yeah. Bro, like this is a weird one. I think like my favorite pass catchers are for touchdowns are Chargers because Jacksonville are full a freaking pass funnel, right? They allow the 10th most, and I'm gonna go fantasy points to wide receivers in the NFL, but their run defense is elite. So that just makes me feel like you get in the red zone, you're just gonna pass the ball. I would have played this if I could have got a better price. Was Justin Herbert 2+ passing touchdowns? Feels really nice today. We just saw Davis Mills just absolutely eat.
Yeah, I mean Herbert over 1.5 is -136. I think that's solid.
Yeah.
I think I might play that one. I like, man. I think the Chargers could be one-way traffic through the air against Jacksonville. And like I said, man, it's not just the X's and O's, but you have to like handicap this in real time off recurring events. Jacksonville literally imploded against Houston. Those are that's a fork in the road. You either bounce back strong, which the Jacksonville Jaguars just don't seem at this moment capable of doing mentally, or that just unravels you. I don't know if you can get up and rebound in a week, or if they can. Like, in theory, you can, but are they capable of doing that? I don't think they have the weapons to do that. I don't think they have the mental makeup. I don't think they have the quarterback to do it. They don't have the secondary to do it. I wasn't a believer in this Jacksonville team. I think the Liam Cohen hire was huge. Like, hey, you got Travis Hunter, you got Brian Thomas, take another big year leap. I don't see it. I think this is Chargers for me, -3. And I think Lab McConkey, Justin Herbert, pass catchers are in line for a very strong day today.
Yeah.
But like I said, the only way I think Jacksonville really keeps this thing close is if the Chargers just kind of dick around and do what they did against the Titans and don't put their foot down, make dumb mistakes, punt return touchdowns, or Herbert makes a couple bad decisions, leads to a pick six. Other than that, I think this should be a Chargers win by decisive fashion.
Yep.
All right, let's get to a big spot here. Brad, for anybody that has not heard, if you've been following me, been hearing about, even just following this show for most of this year, you'll know what it is. What is this spot?
Oh, there's your Royal Mint.
What is the Royal Mint?
I don't know. Explain it to the class.
The road dog closing at exactly 5.5 points. Obviously, this has not closed yet, but this has been 5.5 all week. Usually a good sign. Maybe there's some action coming in, but it's right now, at least on FanDuel, -110 both ways. So barring some heavy money coming in on either side, this could eventually close at 5.5 in 4.5 hours. I love Cincy in this spot. This is all Cincy all day. I think Cincy might win outright in this one. I think Jamar Chase could have a monster this afternoon. If I'm not mistaken, they're coming off. Are they coming off their bye?
The Bengals? Yeah.
They were coming off their bye, right?
Yep.
I think this is a Cincinnati spot all day. I just look, man, you have an offense in Cincinnati that's going to be able to just move the ball probably at will. Flacco is more than capable right now. He's spamming Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. It's just this offense is really dangerous. And Pittsburgh's defense, it's good, but it's not to this elite level that we saw. Like, they had an awesome game plan against the Colts and Jonathan Taylor, but really it was derailed because Daniel Jones, what was the tweet? Somebody tweeted the Steelers defense.
Oh, yeah.
Hit the factory settings reset on Daniel Jones. Turned the ball over like 6 times. So, that throws a wrinkle into it. And then, the Chargers on Sunday night, it wasn't really close. I mean, their defense was okay, but their offense didn't do anything. It's just the Steelers team is very weird. I don't think they should be laying 6 points damn near at home to a divisional opponent that is capable of putting up 40. Just no way. The Cincy defense is not good, by any stretch. So we should see some movement on this Steelers offense from that perspective. But I like the Bengals here 5.5. I think they're a live dog today. Royal Mint spot 5.5. Give me the Bengals here. I think Chase has a big one as well.
Yeah, I think Chase has a big one. He should be able to cook this secondary, which is no issues for me. But I also think that you can get a little bit of action on what's his name on
Don't say Yoshivas.
on
Higgins?
Noah Fant. His numbers kind of low for a tight end, 24.5. Steelers have not had success against the tight end position. My only problem is if things are going so well for a guy whose number is basically 100, that's Jamar Chase, it's going to be hard for Noah Fant to get the targets, right? Like if you're just cooking with your best wide receiver, there's really no reason to intentionally spread the ball out. So he could be the tertiary option, which is never good when your 1 and 2 options are just dominating, you know?
The great thing is, I mean, if you're the Bengals, you have T. Higgins. You can't, like, if you leave T. Higgins one-on-one, he's going to cook you. We've seen that. So
we've seen it this season multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could double Jamar, you could shade extra help over to his side, but it's like still T. Higgins is going to be there. He's going to get you. So look, Jamar Chase -110 to score today. It's nice. That's nice. I think Chase is getting in this afternoon. And the fact is -110 is not terrible here. So I probably would not only play that straight, that's a parlay piece. But look, for like a touchdown parlay piece as well. But
yeah,
for simplicity purposes, man, if you want to go Bengals 5.5, Chase Tutty, that's +207. That's a solid play. I think and those are pretty much correlated as well.
I want to talk about this. So I've I'd say matured in my sports betting player prop life. You know, it's always easier to bet unders. Or not easier, always more fun to bet unders.
What? It's not more fun. It's not fun rooting for an under. That's not the right word to use. I don't know many people that are like, yeah, betting unders is fun. Let's go bet some unders tonight.
Do we bet Jalen Warren under 82.5 rushing yards?
I got him in a parlay for 50 or 60 rushing
yards.
Dude,
listen, his number was like 58.5 the first time these two teams played. He went berserk. And every week, I am the guy who says the best bet in the NFL is betting the opposing running back against the Bengals. This dude not only opened at 69.5, he has been bet up all the way to 82.5. That is egregious.
Well, okay, it's funny you say that because I think we've mentioned this a couple times this year. We don't like chasing. Wait. Hang on. Did you say he was opened at 59.5 and got up to 82.5?
69 and got up to 82 now.
Wow. 69 to 82. That's still
and
well, we've seen those sizable jumps.
Yeah, but listen, and they made a statement about Kenneth Gainwell needs more reps because you just cannot have Jalen Warren smashing the ball that many times. Jalen Warren has only gone over his prop, one time this entire season, and that was against the Bengals. I think, like, I'm taking a defensive stand, and if I lose, dude, like, hand up, I was wrong, but that's just, bro, come on. A player prop in this scenario, I feel like we're just leaving money on the table if we don't take it.
I got Warren 50 yards today, so as long as
maybe he finishes with 63. You have a sweat-free win. I have a sweat-free win.
It's a bit. I mean, look. So we've talked about this several times as well because player props, I would say, have probably gotten. So it's like you have to probably have been there from the start to really monitor year to year.
Yeah.
Overall, I think in just the last 2-3 years, we would probably agree player prop markets have gotten sharper from the book side. A lot sharper,
and the prices have got a lot worse.
Yeah. So that's honestly, what we've seen here these last few years. Player props in like 2018, 2019, 2020, maybe even 2021 were pretty generous overall. Not generous, but a lot more favorable. The prices weren't as bad, so you could get a lot more wins. They've definitely gotten sharper the last 3 years, but there's still a ways to go. I still think there's a lot of advantages for bettors to be taking against these player props.
Yeah.
However, we've talked about this several times. Chasing the steam train on a player prop is not something I often like to do. I have to really love it. For instance, today, if you took Jaylen Warren at 69.5 on the open, or whatever, what was it, 69.5?
69.5. He's bet up to 84.5.
Okay. If you took 69.5 on the open, great, good for you. You got some CLV. Now you can middle it with an under 84.5. Hopefully he gets in the middle because that's a big gap. But if you missed the 69.5, if you missed in the 70s, then now chasing into the mid 80s, that ordinarily most of the time I feel like is just a difficult proposition because everybody likes it. And the fact is, it's just hard to always be on the right side of chasing 15, 16 yards of steam in a few days. So I do agree with your logic there. I think now 84.5 is starting to look like an under.
84.5? And I'm getting minus 108. Books are going to clean up on people betting as overs.
You make a compelling argument because we've highlighted this a lot this year. A lot. So I am in agreement if you're looking at taking that under. I would say this, though. I mean, what's his receptions? Warren, 2.5 receptions over. I mean, that's a little plus
Jaylen
money.
Warren's receiving is probably the best bet, honestly, today. And I talked about this on the small show where Jaylen Warren's number, and I'm trying to remember this correctly, was 14.5 or 15.5 the last time. I literally can just freaking pull it up. I don't know why I'm guessing. We literally have the best technology ever that can just tell us the player prop. Give me 32 seconds. It was 16.5. It was 16.5 when they played last week. Got bet up to close to 19.5. He had 31 receiving yards when they played last. It was like the best line possible. I think that's where he's more dangerous is in the back out of the backfield. How many catches? He had 4 catches in that game.
Yeah, he had 4 for 31. I mean, I think it's the same thing. You know, it's the same matchup, and that's a favorable number. That's definitely better. I mean, you get 16.5 right now. You're getting 2.5 catches at plus money. I mean, I probably like that more than his rush yards. 3 catches for 17 yards against this defense and this matchup, and this could honestly be a shootout. I think that's probably better than the rushing. All right, let's keep it going here. Brad, Tampa Bay was a Royal Mint spot all week. This got bet to 6. This stinks because I like my Royal Mint spots, but we have some time for a little buyback on Tampa here. But let's assess. All right, if Tampa Bay closes at 5.5 or it's 5.5, and we're closing in on kickoff, obviously I'm going Tampa. But now let's assess this and handicap it at 6. Are you feeling a Tampa Bay bounce back or is this a Buffalo bounce back?
I think that there's a Buffalo bounce back, but
you're a slut.
Why are we getting Keon Coleman rushing numbers? He's a healthy scratch. But listen, this is a number that's really weird. Emeka Ibuka, 57.5 receiving yards, 20-mile-per-hour wind, guys. So let's not forget this. But how you beat both of these teams is through the air. So typically, in the player prop world, you really care about 25. 25 and up is like the gold standard of fading, auto fades. 20, no win. I mean, what's fuck? Sorry, excuse my language. No rain. 20 with no rain. I got a brain fart like out of nowhere. Is like not ideal, but not the end of the world. Ibuka is the target. Wide receivers have dominated Buffalo. Their secondary has been getting cooked. It's either that or you go and you pivot and you take Cade Otton. But now you're putting in perspective, Cade Otton at 38.5 versus 53.5, a 15-yard difference between a wide receiver 1 and the primary option versus the tight end. Not saying that Kate Otten can't do it. I'm just saying that if you look at the two, Kate Otten's number is getting the wind boost after a 12 target day versus Ibuka, who's getting the downgrade of the wind after a 13 target day.
Royal men aside, 6 points. I like Tampa to cover this. I still think they're live to win. I think what we're running into here now is the injuries are really mounting for Tampa, and it's obvious because Baker Mayfield's doing everything he can with this line, right? This offensive line is just injured beyond belief. He hasn't gotten Godwin back. Bucky Irving is going to be out again. I mean, no, Rashad White's solid, Tucker's solid, but it's like they're not Bucky Irving. And you got Ibuka, who's a rookie, that's your only weapon, right? I mean, Tez Johnson's been good, but the difference in the slack is up to Baker Mayfield to pick up. The defense was playing well, but I mean, really, they let that game get away from them against New England. They had a lot of opportunities to make stops, and Travion Henderson picks last week to have his breakout game. He had multiple 50-plus yard runs. There was a 72-yard touchdown from Kyle Williams. There was a 50-plus yarder from Matt Collins. I mean, Tampa Bay's defense, there was pivotal moments they were not able to get off the field.
Yeah.
Honestly, the game swinger was probably the 4th down touchdown right before half to Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
It was a great route. It wasn't bad coverage, but they couldn't make the stop in that key moment here. Now, look, Buffalo certainly is in for a bounce back because they didn't just lose. They got embarrassed at Miami. But I think we've kind of discussed that Buffalo, they don't have a great roster. I mean, we see if Josh Allen doesn't have a great game, it's hard for them to win. You got Cook. The receiving options have been hit or miss, to say the least.
Yep.
I mean, you're home. You got the cooler weather. Maybe, that's going to play a factor here. Maybe some wind. But I'm not really of the belief that, Buffalo's this elite team, unless Josh Allen plays elite. I think Kincaid is out for this one too. He got hurt last week. So it's going to be Dawson Knox. Look, man, I think Tampa can cover this 6. I think Tampa Bay can definitely cover this 6. I know Buffalo is going to be angry off a bad loss. I mean, Tampa Bay's in a bounce back spot as well. But ultimately, I'm going to go with the Bucs here. It's not a butter matchup by any stretch, obviously. But I think they're going to be able to move the ball against this Buffalo secondary that's not been good. The question is, can the line hold up, give Baker enough time?
Yeah. Listen, I think you have to win this game in the trenches. And can the Bucs win this game in the trenches, right, is the question.
Yeah.
But I also think that you should consider Sean Tucker rushing over. And this is going to go on the opposite side of what I said about Jaylen Warren, where Sean Tucker's number has been kind of skyrocketed, right? Like, this is a guy who was like 10.5 frequently, but he's gone over in back-to-back games. Obviously, line's doubled this time. I don't know if Tampa Bay is going to be able to win through the air consistently in this weather. Not that I told you it's a 25 mile per hour rule, but they will give Sean Tucker 10 to 15 yards. This is a Sean Tucker that just ripped off for 53 against a top 5 run defense in the NFL in the New England Patriots in a script that wasn't favorable.
Yeah.
Maybe what I would do is maybe I would find a live line. Like, I'm not betting this. I don't know. I think I'd rather bet Ibuka. He can get 55 yards in wind more than Sean Tucker can get 41 in a bad script.
Yeah. I'd still go with Ibuka here. Baker Mayfield's numbers are 206. A little light, to be honest, but the wind actually does make some sense here. But I still think Tampa's going to end up covering this one at 6 points. Here we go. Let's see. You post the Warren under prop while staring coldly at the screen during live stream. Here we go, man. We're going to clip this one. So,
dude, listen. So this is funny. I actually stayed up pretty late last night looking at lines. I as you guys know, I'm a Bama fan, and it wasn't that I was like super pissed about the game because the feeling that I had after we lost to FSU at the beginning of the season, where I thought the season was over, and then we bounced back with 4 straight ranked wins. I said, whatever happens the rest of the season, at least I had an opportunity to root for my squad in high stakes situations. But for some reason, I just kept replaying a few key moments in that game. Not necessarily the turnovers. The main turnover was the Ryan Williams not muff putt, but fumble in the punt recovery. But also when it was 3rd down, when Ty got sacked, we had all of that wide. I just kept replaying it in my head and like thinking like maybe Kellen DeBoer was doing too much. Maybe Ryan Grubb was doing too much. So I couldn't sleep. So I was like, what else could I do? I just was looking at NFL lines. So there's a lot of lines that I wanted to see how they adjusted. I wanted to get clear forecasts. Jalen Warren was like 73.5 and got bet up to 84. Like that's a big jump for like 6 to 8 hours.
All right, let's keep it moving here. We like Tampa. We like Ibuka. I think Tampa covers. I think they're a solid sprinkle to win. And we like Ibuka, and we will keep it moving here. Texans, reverse row mint spot doesn't mean anything. At the Titans, 5.5 off a weird win. Honestly, I don't have much here. I don't really care about this game too much. I can't bet Tennessee right now. Houston, it was a great win. I think if I'm going to take anything, I'd probably take Houston, but I don't feel strongly enough about it. I don't feel strongly enough about props. Maybe Woody Marks, but now Woody Marks is sneakily creeping up here. Like we haven't seen that full takeover. It's close. And especially like Woody Marks, these breakout games, he had a couple big ones. It's really frustrating for me. I haven't been in fantasy, but other than that, I don't really feel much about this game.
I like Nick Chubb rushing over the 32.5 in 3 straight games. He is seeing a snap share go down a little bit, right? But what's funny about this is they're going against arguably the worst run defense in the NFL. I don't mind that his snap share isn't great, right? It's Woody Marks' backfield. We get that. And a little bit more that snap share was a little different last week because of the game script. It was a bad game script. Nick Chubb is not going to be in there for any type of pass scenarios. And now it should be more of a neutral game script. Should be closer to 40, maybe 45, 35, unless you get Dare in there. And then, of course, Dare takes his 8%. I like 30. I think he can get 30. I think it's a few carries for him as long as if they have a back-to-back negative scripts, like I feel like you take that on the chin, right? You take that on the chin, you say, it is what it is.
Side note, Tennessee's allowed the most touchdowns rushing to backs this year. So Nick Chubb being plus 260 to score that is a big number. That's bizarre. Look, Woody Marks is getting more burn, and Woody Marks is plus 135. Plus 135 is still pretty solid, I guess. But Nick Chubb hasn't scored in over a month.
Yeah.
But I still think, if they're at the 1 yard line, there's a good chance he can get the rock. His touches have definitely been diminishing, but I still think 260 for Nick Chubb to score is way too big. I think that's a sprinkle. I think Woody Marks is strong to get in today. I would bet Woody Marks straight, especially if the game script favors. But other than that, nothing else. Nothing on the Titans prop side. Let's move on here to the 4 o'clocks.
Yes.
Rams Seahawks, huge tilt here. NFC West could ultimately be decided for these two teams. This is the first of 2 games. Rams are 3, leaning Bradford towards 3.5. This is an awesome game. It really is. 2 heavyweight NFC contenders, and they are neck and neck for that NFC West crown. So this is going to go a long way. Brad, I'll be honest though. If we get to 3.5, it's a no doubter for me taking Seattle with 3 and a hook. I like Seattle. I think both offenses obviously are really good. You have 2 star receivers in JSN and Puka. Yep. You have Big Daddy Stafford, who's playing maybe the best football of any quarterback in the NFL right now. You have running backs on both sides that are capable, like 2 offenses that can score in bunches, no doubt. But the big edge for me is defense. The Rams defense is strength is up front. Their secondary is beatable. But now the way Seattle's been playing, front to back Seattle's defense, we've talked about this all year. It's like, hey, what happened to Seattle's defense? Early in the year, they weren't playing well. And they were dealing with key injuries, especially in the secondary. But like these 3rd and 15s, like against Tampa, you know you're going to a boot with 3rd and 15 and near the red zone. Like, you know what I'm saying? They weren't prepared for these spots. And it was really bizarre because, I loved Seattle coming into the year. I thought 5-1 preseason for them to win the West was ridiculous. So we've gotten this Seahawks team that we're expecting these last like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Now the secondary is playing with a lot of juice.
Oh, dude, I forgot I had something prepared for this one, but not a bet. This Seattle Seahawks team is man, dude, we keep doubting them. And what do they keep doing? They keep showing up.
Who's
my problem?
We haven't doubted them.
Me.
I'm like the Uncle
I
Phil.
keep doubting
It's like the Uncle Phil. We? Yeah, no, you, not we. I loved Seattle. I mean, look, I think the Seahawks 3.5 is good. I want to take them with the money line here. I really do. I think they are more than live today, Brad. Plus 150 or bigger. Like, yes, they are live. It's worth a sprinkle. And I hate to say it because I like the Rams. I like Matthew Stafford. I like Puka. I like Kyron. I think these two teams split this series this year. I think the Rams win this one. Very slight, but I think Seattle covers 3. It's worth a bet for me, and it's definitely 3.5. We're going to get that 3.5.
Okay, where was I at? My problem with Seattle in this game, I think we touched on it a little. Oh, we didn't have a show. Crap. We didn't touch on it a little bit. Is their weaknesses in the interior of their offensive line. It's not that I think that the Rams have a great interior defensive line. They don't. That's probably their weakness. But my problem is the 2 on the outside versus Young. What happens when you have to decide which of these guys you're gonna double, or are you just gonna consistently say Charbonnet and
Walker.
Kenny Walk are gonna be the guys that are going to help out? Because this Rams team is the team that is still getting 4th, 5th most pressure on the quarterback without sending a blitz. How do you get to Sam Darnold? How do you rattle him? You don't allow him to have clean pockets. If that Seattle offensive line is holding up, you send the blitz. You send in another guy. That's when I start to get worried. Can they have a mastermind day to turn this game into they're going to have to beat us any other way than Sam Darnold just throwing the ball to Jackson Smith-Njigba? I lean the Rams here. They're the favorites for a reason, but
cover or win for both
to win. But I've doubted the Seahawks all season, and I keep getting them wrong. So,
yeah, I mean, look, this is a hard one to bet. I think this is a good teaser leg, getting Seattle at 9, even 9.5 if you get the 3.5 later. I like Seattle to cover 3. I mean, ultimately, this could be a field goal game at the gun, and 3's a push. But if you're getting that 3.5, which, like, to be honest, if you like Seattle here, I would probably wait a couple hours. I mean, this is a 4 o'clock kickoff. So you could realistically wait until you get that 3.5 and strike on Seattle. That's probably what I would do. If you like the Rams, I would take it now before it moves, because it looks like it's going to move to 3.5. I mean, look, this is probably a great game today. I'm really looking forward to this one. Prop wise, look, you got JSN here, obviously, who's pretty much the highest line set every week at this point. There is up to 99.5 on MGM, as low as 94.5 on Rivers. I mean, look, it's just hard because you're not getting much value for like 100 plus anymore on Njigba, but I think this is a game where Njigba gets another 100 piece. I mean, I'm going to be on him for catches like I am every week. We got hosed last week because game script got crazy. He had 4 catches in the first quarter. His number was 7.5 or 6.5, whatever it was. And he had 4 catches in the first quarter, but they're up like 4 touchdowns by the end of the first quarter. So, look, 7.5 plus 116. I take this is like, for me, betting roulette. I stick to one color, black or red, usually black.
Yeah.
That's the same principle for me with JSN catches. I'm taking it every week, no matter what. This is going to be another week where I take JSN over. I mean, the Rams secondary, they're going to give up some catches to wide receivers. So let's keep going with JSN here. I like the catches. I think he's going to get 100 yards again because I just don't think this Rams secondary is going to be able to contain him. And by the way, we didn't mention it's a revenge game for Cooper Kupp as well, facing his former team. He's 33.5. Brad, I think that's good as well. I think Tutty props, JSN at 125 is big. But buddy, Cooper Kupp 420, revenge game Tutty against his former team. We're hitting that. Big dog, we're hitting Cooper Kupp, revenge game Tutty. Little how you doing?
God dang. Cooper Kupp, revenge.
Tell me no.
No, go ahead. I don't hate it.
Okay. I didn't think you hated it. All right, let's keep it going. We got the Niners at the Cardinals. 3 has become 3.5. Marvin Harrison is out. Boy, oh boy, you feel comfortable with the Niners 3 and a hook here. Couple 3 and a hooks in divisional games this week. I mean, look, I think the 49ers are going to win this game. I felt fine laying 3. Now I'm a little hesitant with 3.5 at home because Jacoby Brissett's been playing good football. I mean, honestly, let's call it what it is. Seattle played an awesome game last week. They were prepared. I was dead wrong because I like the Cardinals with the 7. However, let's remember something. That game turned early because of 2, I'm going to say fluke. Yeah. But if you're getting 2 strip sack scoop scores in like 1 quarter, I mean, come on, that very rarely ever happens. That turned the game. But otherwise, Arizona was moving the ball a lot on offense. They couldn't convert a couple times in the red zone. They didn't play a good game, but believe it or not, those 2 strip sack scoop scores, it turned everything. And who knows how that game turns out. I'm not saying the Cardinals were going to win that game, but they could have kept it a lot closer. Now they're at home. If you throw that game out, the Cardinals have been in every game Jacoby Brissett started. Marvin Harrison, that's a buzzkill that he's not out there because it's a thin receiver core. Now, Michael Wilson's going to be probably their wide receiver 1. Trey McBride, obviously, he's probably going to get spammed today. What's your thoughts on this game, Brad?
Dude, where you beat or how you beat the 49ers is those mid-level, middle of the field passes, right? And okay, I can't think of one. Maybe Travis Kelce. What tight end in the NFL is better? Do they better execute that tunnel screen to the tight end? None than Trey McBride. Maybe Travis Kelce because they do it for touchdowns, which is a lot more effective, I guess, for the score. Trey McBride probably feasts in this game. I just don't think I want the Cardinals where no Marvin Harrison being that real threat on the outside being out. 3.5 is rich, but we have to remember that the Niners get Brock Purdy back. It's been some time. He adds a different dynamic.
Is he back this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's back this week. But for me, it's not necessarily it's never been the offense for this team. It's never been the offense for the Niners. It's been the defense and their inability to get pressure on the quarterback. But we've seen teams get pressure on the Cardinals who don't have high pressure rates, which is a good sign. I like the 3.5. I'd rather play 3 in the number there, but you're getting some shops are giving you like -105, close to even money for 3 in the hook. I'm not saying to buy a hook. Listen, that's not my style. But when you're sitting at 3, damn, they're charging 35 cents for the hook, so maybe not.
I'll be honest. I'm not. I don't think I'm betting 3.5 on Brock Purdy.
No, I think I would pass. I think I'm good to pass.
Yeah.
3.5 is just a huge number, man.
It's a huge swing. Because look, the Cardinals are in a bounce back spot here. because they got the break speed off of them. But I don't know, man. Brissett, there's something about Brissett. He's not flashy, but he keeps the chains moving.
Yeah.
He's a leader. He's was bringing the most out of Marvin Harrison, bringing the most out of Trey McBride, and these other ancillary weapons. I personally don't buy Brock Purdy enough to lay 3 and a hook. So I might have a clear decision on this later on in the day, but as of right now, I'm probably passing on a side.
Yep.
In this one. I'd probably do the standard operating procedure, go Christian McCaffrey with receiving yards. His receptions is 5.5 even money. I mean, I'd probably look at something along those lines. Trey McBride for me is a little too rich right now. He's like 76.5. That's a high number. And it's like everybody knows the ball's going to him pretty much. I mean, maybe you take a little Michael Wilson. I mean, other than that, though, right? I don't know. Arizona's defense has been good against receiver backs out of the backfield. I don't have a ton in this game right now. Probably need a little bit more time to marinate on it.
Yeah, this is a good marinade spot. Listen, this is probably going to be like one of the most compelling, boring. And by compelling, I mean like, oh my God, it's a 3-point game going to the fourth quarter because it's been so boring the entire game that any team has a chance to win it. Do I really want to be like sitting there on a 3 and a hook with a game like that? Like that's more like you're getting. I would rather 5 and a hook or 2 and a hook on the other side.
Yeah, interesting. All right, let's keep it going here. We got another 3 and a hook home divisional game here. Kansas City laying the 3.5 at Denver. Oh boy. Kansas City is off the bye. They had a bad loss at Buffalo. Actually, this just flipped to 4.5. So money coming in on KC. Let's do a little
smart.
Here we go. Kansas City is now 4.5. Buddy, look, I get it. Chiefs off the bye have been really good with Andy Reid and Mahomes. Denver has, while being 8-2, have had these like weird little lulls where just offensively they can't get it going. I mean, they had a weird win against the Raiders, a team they should have blew out. Their offense couldn't score. So it's really hard trying to square up Denver. Kansas City, okay, fine. Since Rashee Rice is back, they've looked really good. They had a stinker at Buffalo. And Buffalo got up for that game. Buffalo's historically had success with Josh Allen versus Mahomes in the regular season. Brad, I think Denver covers this game. I think Kansas City wins. Because here's the thing, like, this is a game that the Broncos have circled on their calendar all year. Teams get up to play Kansas City, especially in the division. Like, Denver is leading the charge in the AFC West. So I don't know if they win this game, but I think they at least get up for it. So I think 4.5 at home. And I would think Denver probably has a couple wrinkles for Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. I think the Chiefs probably win this game, but I think Denver now getting 4.5 at home is a little much, in my opinion.
Every team, this is what happens to the Chiefs, right? And this is going to be their life for the rest of their lives. They're everyone's biggest game this season. And it's unfortunate, right? They're everyone's biggest game for the last 3 seasons. A team like Denver, who has not been steady, this is like a momentum building game. You beat the Chiefs at home. The Chiefs are reeling. But I just can't trust the Chiefs because, I mean, the Broncos, because through quarters 1 through 3, they've been the worst team in the NFL. Quarter 4, the best team in the NFL. I personally can't take swings like that. Not emotionally. I just can't do it. So I can't do it. I can't do it. I literally can't do it.
Do what?
I can't take Denver, even though they're the right side.
Yeah. Look, I get it, man. It's hard because it's like, well, Kansas City's off the bye. They had a bad loss. I get it, man. I'm not like dying on this hill where I think Denver's a smash play. I think it's the right side. If Kansas City goes in there and beats them by 14, like would I be surprised? No, because Denver's had this weird little thing going on this year where they just don't show up some weeks. We've seen that. And I think, especially without Surtain, they've kind of lost their teeth in the secondary.
Yes.
That's a big one. And I think because Kansas City, they're playing a divisional game, but they've also had 2 weeks to prepare for this spot. That's where I could certainly understand it. But I think a divisional dog at home in Denver who's getting up for this game, I think it's a solid play. Props wise, I think I'd probably go Rashee Rice over 6.5 catches, -142.
Like that. Can't go wrong with Rashee Rice. I'm actually taking RJ Harvey, but not
Yep.
in the running game you would
Receiving.
expect. I'm taking his receiving yards, 15.5, taking his receptions, 2.5.
Yep.
He's done well in this he's done well this season. Now he is a primary back, which he gets a little bit extra volume in terms of the backfield. I'm going to be chicken shit and take both for half a unit. So basically, I'm limiting my exposure while still having 2 outs. So instead of 2 units, total risk on him, I get the out of if it sucks, I'm not losing a full 2 whatever units plus the juice,
I think I like Rice and Harvey touchdown props in this one. You get Troy Franklin, who just fucking finds a way to get in. Troy Franklin, 240. Not bad.
I suck at betting touchdown props for the Broncos this year, dude.
It's hard. You don't know. But I mean, RJ Harvey's the guy this week. I mean, J.K. Dobbins looks like he's going to be out for foreseeable future. Let me ask you, though. There's 2 guys I think are interesting. You got Bo Nix at 460. Could use his life this week. Jaleel McLaughlin is plus 750 to score. I mean, look, RJ Harvey, I don't think he's going to be getting every goal line carry. I don't think he's going to be getting everything in terms of, the extra depth. I know Tyler Beatty's in the mix as well.
Yeah.
But if you were looking for Tyler Beatty, he's down to 9-1. Jaleel McLaughlin might be a sneak play for a long shot tutty.
That's nice.
You know how, like, Jaleel McLaughlin he's barely played this year.
Yep. What's the number?
On FanDuel,
yeah.
McLaughlin is 7. Hold on. He's 750. Beatty's 9-1.
Damn.
Is Tyler Beatty going to get in if it gets close to the red zone here?
9-1.
Tyler Beatty's 9-1. Tyler Beatty really hasn't played much.
McLaughlin, you said was what?
What?
What was McLaughlin?
750. I mean, I think we could go Bo Nix, but the problem is like I hate betting quarterbacks to rush for tutties.
I might take a little of that Jaleel.
I think that's a long shot. I think that's solid because RJ Harvey, I don't see him getting like 20 to 25 carries. I just don't think that's how they're successful. I think he's going to get probably 15 carries, especially if this game script gets away. He's going to be more in the receiving. But these short yardage lines, I don't know if RJ Harvey's going to be the guy that's in on the short yardage situations near the goal line. He could be, but it wouldn't surprise me to see somebody like a Jaleel McLaughlin in there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think I'm
like,
not
I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that. That's what I'm trying to think. Did my power almost go out? Wow, that was weird. Man, that's a good price.
I mean, Knicks could easily get in. I mean, Knicks 460.
Who do they turn to? Beatty or McLaughlin?
I know. I mean, look, I think Harvey can get in as well. I think Harvey's fair because he can get in both ways.
Like, I think I'm gonna go Beatty.
Tyler Beatty. I mean, because the thing about him is he gets involved in the receiving game more.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is, that's what I'm thinking is like, I don't think they're going to be pounding the rock with either of these guys, but I
Right.
think who's more likely to get that weird play action, hit the running back in the flats?
Beatty. Yeah, maybe, man. I mean, look, I think they're both interesting. I think Bo Nix is interesting at 460. I think Bo Nix gets short. Maybe Sean Payton's like, yeah, let's have our big quarterback just do a little a la Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I mean, I think Rice and Harvey are good today. Hunt's solid. And then you get one of these long shots on Denver. Troy Franklin's solid today, too.
Yeah.
But overall, I like Rice reception 6.5. That's juice, but I think that's good. I think they're just going to spam him. Yeah, but all right. Ravens. I don't know why this is a 4:00 game. Ravens at Browns 7.5. I have no idea why this is the witching hour window, but do you have anything here? Like, do you think Cleveland a home 7.5 point dog is?
I don't want any part of this game.
No.
Because like what naturally I was gonna go with some Judd props. I was thinking they'd put Judd. What's wrong?
Tampa up to 6.5, pushing 7 now. Wow.
I was thinking naturally they'd like Judd would have like a 64, 65 out there, and it's just not happening. So I'm off of that. I'm totally 100% off of this game. I don't want to pay the 7. This is a horribly managed Browns team. Horrible.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, if I have to pick a side, I think the Ravens are going to win and cover this one. I'll be honest, man, they didn't look good last week against Minnesota. I personally don't think they look good. I watched them. They were sputtering a lot, but even in a game where they don't look good on the road, they still put up 27 and they won by 8 points. They held Minnesota's offense to under 20 points. I'd like them to cover 7.5 here. I think they do. I feel like we're due for Lamar Jackson rush tutty. It's been a hot minute since we've seen this dude scamper his way into the end zone. You're getting that at 350 today. Maybe you get an Njoku or Howard Fannin touchdown. They're both 5-1. I mean, all the Brown scores outside of Q is pretty big today. I don't love a ton from the props perspective because this game could go sideways. Like if you take receivers and this game goes sideways, then you go ground heavy. And then if it gets big enough, then they take Henry out. Then you're looking at Keaton Mitchell or somebody else. But I do think Lamar getting in is a very solid play. So I would probably lean Lamar to get in as a little long shot. Sprink in the plus 350 range. All right, Sunday night, big one here. Lions, Eagles. Dude, this is similar to how the Eagles were 2.5 point dogs at Green Bay on Monday night. Very similar. I think the wrong team's favored. I think this is strictly home field advantage play. And I get it, man. Look, like roster-wise, they're both great teams. Sam Laporta went on IR for the Lions, so that's obviously a loss there. But if you look at the teams, like the Eagles haven't been gelling. This team hasn't had a convincing win where they've looked like the team we saw last year and admit it. The Lions have been playing good football. Other than the Vikings game, which I think they just came out flat for, I mean, they've played really well. I thought the Lions were going to have a lot more, adjusting to do. Haven't seen it there. I'll be honest, man. I don't love what I've seen from Philly. I know they've looked good overall, but it's like they haven't looked good against a good team in a while. Like their last win against a really good team was against Tampa, week 4. And honestly, they only probably won that game against a limited Tampa team because Baker Mayfield made a bad decision. They probably got lucky against the Rams. They haven't looked like a cohesive team in a while, if that makes sense. I like the Lions because they've been gelling. I think the Lions are a very, very dangerous team that will travel on the road. And the road thing makes a case here, like maybe Jared Goff and those small hands. But this could be big. This could be for the 1 seed. I'm going to go Lions. I think the Lions cover and win this one outright. I think Gibbs has a big game. I think Amon-Ra has a big game.
This actually makes me worried that you like the Lions because I like the other side.
Why?
I like the Eagles. I feel like every time the Lions have played a good team, they've shit the bed. They lost to the Packers. They lost to the Chiefs.
Well, all right, hold on. The Packers, they lost to first game without Ben Johnson. We'll allow a little grace period.
Yes. But you know me, and everyone who knows me, I'm not a huge spread better, right? Like, so I could be okay, like thinking that I was wrong or feeling that I was incorrect.
I don't know, man. Like, look, Philly could get up for this game. This could determine the 1 seed in the NFC. It really could. And like, I like Philadelphia in terms of postseason. I think they're always going to be a threat, at least this year. They don't look in sync. They don't. And I'm not saying the Lions are the best team in the NFL, but they are very, very good. They look like last year. I think this is an A.J. Brown spot, though, for him to score. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I think A.J. Brown's live to get in the end zone. I'm expecting this to be a higher scoring affair. I like Jahmyr Gibbs to have a big game. I like Jahmyr Gibbs to get in the end zone. So I'm going to be on a lot of props in this one. This is going to be one of those games where you build a nice parlay around one contest, like 6 legs, like couple touchdown scores, yards. Like this is going to be a fun one to watch tonight.
Man, this is a really fun one. God. I hate that we're on different sides. I feel like I'm so wrong then, I guess.
Hey, look, man, I could be wrong. I don't. And let me ask you, if this game was in Detroit, do you have a different opinion?
Yeah, I do. Slightly.
The home field thing could play a factor for sure. Goff could shit the bed in a cold weather game. We've seen that before. I think the Lions have a lot of ways to beat you. And they're gelling right now. That's the thing. The Eagles are not gelling. They scored 10 points in Green Bay last week. They didn't look good. It's weird what we've been seeing from Philly.
Yeah.
That's honestly the breakdown. I mean,
I saw
roster wise, they're in terms of talent, they're very similar.
I saw my buddy's show with Matthew Berry. You same buddy Lawrence. Where he made a statement that I thought was so compelling about the Eagles. If the Eagles weren't 7-2, like we'd making a bigger deal about their offensive lack of cohesion, turmoil, issues, and all that.
I mean, if Miles Sanders doesn't get hawked in week 1, they probably lose to the Cowboys. If, a ridiculous field goal block against the Rams, they probably lose that game. Baker Mayfield doesn't throw a pick in the end zone on a bad decision against Tampa, they might lose that game. I mean, like, we could sit here and say what ifs. Well, we're not debating on if Philly's a good team or not, but it's like, some of these moments that are not fluky, but high variance moments that have led the perception that Philly is better than they really are.
Yeah.
Is I think what we're probably getting at here. I mean, they're a good team. I'm not going to doubt Philly in terms of their quality of team, but I think there's turmoil going on. Like A.J. Brown, he just doesn't seem like he's that happy. Look, if Philly won and they covered, would I be surprised? No, I just think the Lions have been playing better football.
That's fair. They have been playing better football.
All right, let's cap it off here with the Monday Nighter. Dallas at Vegas, 50.5 high total. I mean, it'll be fun again for like props purposes, like put cooking up a same game parlay. Dallas has been bad on the road this year. They don't do well on the road. I don't think I'm going to lay it with Dallas, and I'm also not going to lay it with Geno. I'm probably off the side here. I guess if you put a gun in my head and force me to pick a side, I probably will go Dallas, but it's not super confident. I'd probably look at betting CeeDee Lamb props at like his overs this week. I think Brock Bowers' overs are pretty good as well. Maybe throwing a little Trey Tucker, longest reception, something like that.
Yeah.
Anything else on your side for this?
No, dude, I actually hate this game. I hate this game with a passion. Maybe shit, what's his name? Maybe Ashton Genty sees some show of force from this Dallas defense. They added some pieces. They get some pieces back. Number 63 is a big number for him, for a team that hasn't done well, but also like a team that should have some success through the air against this Dallas secondary.
Yeah, could be. All right, let's wrap it up here. Anything else that we missed? We're cooking up a lay today. Let's cook up a quickie.
All right. I'm taking Devon Achane rushing yards over.
Okay.
I'm trying to freaking get this play in where I'm doing alt 2, but let's just cook up a parlay. Go ahead.
All right, let's do leg 1. Let's go Bijan over rush yards.
All right, hold up.
Are we keeping tutties out of it? Tutties are
keep the tutties out of it this time.
All right. Robinson rush yards over 74.5. I think he bounce back here. Jettas receiving.
Yeah, he was going to be for me. How many on Robinson? 70. We have to do 73.5. Okay.
Okay. Jettas, how many? 73.5. Do you want to go 80? 80 for Jettas. Okay. Let's do that. Jamar's too big right now. Anything RJ Harvey receiving?
Yeah, let's do RJ Harvey. Let's see what options we get. RJ Harvey. Let's see what the Hard Rock options are. We'll do 15.5. We get bailed out. He can still get 15.5 with 2 catches.
For Harvey?
I don't think he gets 3 catches and goes under.
Okay.
Or actually, no. Let's do receptions, because they sometimes like to do that stupid ass screen.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know.
Don't overthink it.
Let's skip him. Let's skip him for now.
Okay. So who do we have? We have Bijan and Jettas.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we do Jacobs Tutty? What's the price on here?
220. It's gross. It's disgusting.
Oh God, yeah. Never mind.
Let's go to Seattle. Are we going with JSN yards or catches?
99 receiving yards or 8 receptions. I'm good with whatever you want.
I'll put it to you this way. I don't think he gets I don't think JSN, because we've highlighted this a couple times this year. Like, if JSN's gonna get 100 yards, he hasn't gotten 100 yards without getting 8 catches. So in principle, every time JSN's gotten 100 yards this year, which has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, he's gotten at least 8 catches. So I'd probably go catches.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're getting plus money on catches, right? You're getting plus money on over 7.5.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Herbert two pass tutties.
Oh yes, we got to put Herbert in there.
How many is that? 5.
Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Let me finish putting this Devon Achane bet in. I have like 2 minutes. I'm putting 2 units on Achane today, so you better not freaking let me down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm ready now. Justin Herbert. They play at 1, right? Yep. Yeah. Passing tutties. All right, so we have 4 legs right now. We're at plus 1,300.
Herbert 2, Bijan over, Jettas over, JSN 8 catches. Oh, Warren receiving.
You want? Yeah, Warren
or receiving. Under rushing.
No, do over receiving.
Catches or yards?
Yards.
So 16.5.
Yep.
Oh, over.
It's 19 on here.
When
he's a huge number for a running back.
Yeah.
We can do over 2.5 receptions. That's fine.
You like that?
Yep. We're at plus 2,500.
You think over 2.5 is fair?
Yes.
Or would you rather go under rush? Up to you. I'll let you pick this one.
We have to go receptions. Hard Rock never has good rush unders props.
Can't believe Tampa's up to 6.5. Wow. Point. About to push 7.
I think that's good, man. That's a plus 2,500s.
5 legs?
5 legs?
2,500?
Yeah. Let me see if I have any boosts.
Boost that. $50, 25 each. Solid.
I use my boost. Bullshit.
Ooh,
you know, it's actually BS. I used my boost and I used my. How much you want to do?
What if 25 each?
Yep.
What's that? 600?
Yep. A little more. I used my freaking. I guess it doesn't suck. I used my parlay saver or whatever they call it, and the bet won, but it was only like a plus 200.
Okay. Yeah, put that in. Send me the ticket. So let's recap it. Bijan Robinson over 73.5 or 74.5 rush?
73.5.
73.5. Jetta's 80 receiving yards?
Yep.
Jetta's 80 receiving yards. Jalen Warren over 2.5 catches?
Yep.
Justin Herbert over 1.5 pass tutties?
Yep.
JSN over 7.5 catches?
Yep. We should just name him John Robinson because it'd be the 5 J's.
All right, so that is in. I do like it. Let's full send it.
I'll send it to you.
And that will get us out of here. Guys, really appreciate you waking up early with us. Let's have a big day, and we will see you back here next week. Brad, you're a scholar and a gentleman. Thank you so much for your insight, as always. Have a great weekend, guys. Have a great Sunday.
Peace.